Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is November 5th, 2020, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, I wanted to show you a really cool ad that Walmart just put up on their Twitter page. It's only 30 seconds long, but it's video game related, so check it out. Pretty cool. Here you go.
We've been in the game from the very beginning. There with you every step of the way. Continue your journey with the most powerful Xbox ever. From one generation to the next. Xbox Series X, coming soon to Walmart.
It's a nice trip down memory road type of commercial. In the beginning, you see, the boy going with his parent to the store. Now, he's obviously young enough that you don't see what he's picking out, but presumably, I would say, probably like an NES, Super NES, because he's definitely a kid here, although it's not like, an Xbox-driven commercial at Walmart is going to have a Nintendo product in it, but, he's going to pick up something as a kid, comes back later on, gets his first Xbox when he's a young adult, and then it goes into, Xbox 360 territory, newborn baby, Xbox One, daughter, several years old, Xbox Series X now. All right, he's a little bit older, the kid's a teenager, etc. I think if you've been gaming long enough, you could kind of relate to this wherever you do your shopping. Gaming, it evolves, it stays with you. You remember years based off of consoles that you got during those years. You could remember other events based off of a popular game that you played that, dominated that summer of whatever year it happened to be. So, cool commercial, Walmart. I thought I would share that, and I hope you liked it. Moving on in gaming news, Daemon X Machina is celebrating its anniversary, and Nintendo just randomly on Facebook today put up a few new things. Announced a new Arsenal skin, an outer suit, Arsenal decals, and some new preview backgrounds in game. I have a couple images. Here's one, and here's another, and here's another. So kind of cool because we haven't received any update on the game in quite a while. It's a year plus old now, and we've got this version 1.4.0. So not a bad little surprise. And actually what's going on right now, in addition to this news, is you could find the game on sale at GameStop, for instance, for only $30. And that's half off, so not bad if you're looking at getting it. It's not a perfect game. It's a little rough in a couple of areas, but pretty solid overall. Actually, I had a lot more fun with it than any problems, really. And, it's one of those titles that I give props to the development studio because when they put the demo out, they really listened to the fan feedback and they made things better, like draw distance, improved the frame rate, tightened up some controls, put some extra cursors, and, really the final game is just a much better product probably because they took fan feedback into consideration. So, not a perfect experience, of course, but still a good entry on Nintendo Switch, and it's exclusive on the platform too. So if you want to buy it on sale, now's your chance. Enjoy some new updates. If you had fun with the game, maybe finished it, maybe didn't, maybe now's a little bit of a opportunity to hop back in and enjoy some new content. Moving along, since it is Thursday, we do have some sales data coming to us from Japan. And as always, I'm going to be using the Famitsu sales charts provided by Reset Era and Chris1964, who does a really nice job putting them together. We're going to look at this quickly. We'll focus on the top 10 and then I'll show you what's to come below. At number 1, Pikmin 3 Deluxe debuted on Nintendo Switch with 171,349 copies sold. This is actually the top-selling Pikmin game in Japan in a launch week. Pikmin on GameCube back in 2001, crazy to think 19 years ago, debuted at 100,000. Pikmin 2, a couple of years later, about 2.5 years later, had around 170,000. Pikmin 3 on Wii U was in the neighborhood of 102,000. And now you've got Pikmin 3 Deluxe at 171,000. So it's actually a little bit better than Pikmin 2, which was the peak Pikmin week debut. And this also outsold the game that this is based on Wii U. Now we got reports out of Europe that the game actually sold less in its opening week than it did on Wii U, but it's making up for it in here. We'll see how it does on the eShop and in North America. Overall, I expect this version to sell better than the Wii U version worldwide. Moving along though, we've got Shin Megami Tensei that came out, and this is Shin Megami Tensei 3, the HD remaster, which hit Nintendo Switch and PS4. And you can see that Nintendo Switch, 52,000, PS4, 48,000. At number 4, Watch Dogs and PS4 debuted at 40,000. Ring Fit Adventure had a nice bump up, 38% from the previous week. Now it's at 1.7 million. It did 29,000 for the week. Animal Crossing at 24,000, coming in at number 6. At number 7, Greedfall on PS4 debuted at 13,000. At number 8, Kamen Rider for Nintendo Switch debuted at 11,683. 9, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 9,500. And at number 10, Pokemon Sword and Shield with a nice 33% boost up from the previous week, and it delivered 9,421 copies sold. So this is before the big holidays. We're seeing some big numbers, some old software going up like Mario Kart and Animal Crossing and Ring Fit Adventure. We're seeing a lot of new titles enter because, companies like to deliver their big holiday games in this, last 2-month territory. We won't focus too much on the rest, but you see some familiar faces coming in. Super Mario 3D All-Stars is still there. We have some new entries like Sekiro and Kamen Rider. Got Super Mario Party. See another one here, 27% up from the previous week. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate up 10% from the previous week, and so forth. This is actually a list that's going to go into the top 30. And if you want to know the split, it's 22-8. And as always, I like to go into hardware sales next. For hardware, Nintendo Switch did quite well. It bested last week by an additional 22,000. Not quite as high as last year, but who knows? It could be a stock issue. More could be on the way for the coming weeks. Maybe they're holding back a little bit so they have enough to really meet the holiday demand. But either way, more than last week, but less than last year for the respective week. PS4, 3,150. 3DS, 1,467. And Xbox One, 36. This week will go by. Next Thursday, I will report the data again. But by next Thursday, the new consoles will be out. So for the previous week, we will see something exciting. New software, new hardware, how Nintendo Switch is hanging in there, and so forth. But that will do it for sales talk. And finally, this is something that I'm particularly proud of. I think this is fantastic. Hori just came out with the Flex Controller, or is coming out with, I should say, but they revealed it today for Nintendo Switch. Now, I was a big fan of the adaptive controller that Microsoft released for the Xbox One. I did not purchase one for myself, but I loved it. I think video gaming should be experienced by as many people as possible. But when you think about gaming, it does require a lot of controls, a lot of finger dexterity, thumb movement, even something like motion controls, which is designed to, you know, be a little bit easier of a way to get into gaming, may not be easier for all people. I think Nintendo did a great job with Wii in delivering a system that was able to be experienced by more folks out there. And Microsoft, I have to give them tremendous props because they did something like that but different for their Xbox community by having their adaptive controller. When that commercial came out, it was so touching. It was beautiful. You know, as a personal trainer, I've had many clients over the years with different disabilities, whether it was from a motorcycle accident that left their hand impaired, or somebody that suffered a stroke, or someone that has cerebral palsy, you know, whether born with or received a condition at some point in life that limited their experience that they had before or just never really got to enjoy. I have worked with plenty of people, plenty of friends, and you know, a lot of them like video games and like media and pop culture and stuff like that. Some have better success than others in playing, and some always kind of wanted to but never really got a chance. Some, their first console was Wii, getting to play, you know, with motion controls easy. And some, thanks to Xbox and the adaptive controller, they really got to play and introduce to their friends and their own, you know, sub community different styles of play, and that's just a fantastic thing. So the fact that Hori is doing something like this, and I'll show you some of the images how it works. The fact that they're doing this Flex controller for Nintendo Switch is just fantastic. Again, a product that I likely won't purchase myself, but you know, if I hear from some of my clients, if I hear from some of my friends that this is solid, that this is, you know, as good or comparable within levels of usefulness to people that need this type of input device, you know, comparable to what the Xbox adaptive controller was able to provide them, you know, I'll definitely be sharing and promoting this because I'm a big believer in, you know, letting everybody have as much fun as they can in life, helping people out. But you could see here that you've got some big pads that don't require such a fine press. You've got a different layout and different mappings that you could do. You could stick something like this little analog stick and put it where you could reach it. Perhaps it's with your chin. Perhaps it's with a small movement of your hand. And this won't work in tabletop mode, nor will it work in handheld mode, but it connects to the Nintendo Switch dock and it's ready to roll on the TV. It's got different ways that you could set it up. Like I said earlier, main buttons are arranged on the top of the main unit to support operation of the menu screen. One of the things that you cannot do is you cannot turn on the Nintendo Switch console from this home button, so you'll have to have a separate home button. Here you can see how they have this arm, and you know, this is for someone that they could use in any way, but for instance, in one way that they could use it is, like I said, with their chin, with a special stick to tap a button to create an action on screen. And yeah, also works with PC. So it's for PC, it's for Nintendo Switch. It's coming out this November. I think it's really cool. Yeah, that's a special one for me. So I'm really happy to see that today because it was unexpected, but very newsworthy in my opinion. And I think that's going to do it for Video Game News with Paul Gale Network today. Let me know what you thought. We had the Walmart commercial of Xbox, which was really cool. A surprise Daemon X Machina 1-year anniversary bonus. Some Famitsu sales coming from Japan, hardware and software, fun. And of course, this really cool Hori Flex Controller. Thank you, Hori, for doing that. That's admirable. I like it. All right. Tell me what you think. I always look forward to hearing your comments. Have a good one. PGN signing out. See you next time. Bye.